बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। शुरू करता हूँ अल्लाह के बाबरकत नाम से जो बहुत मेहरबान नहायत रहम वाला है। नाजरीन, मैं हूँ एहतशाम अरशद निज़ामी और आप देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम हम और आपका, जो हमारा सीरीज़ चल रहा है हिस्ट्री रिविजिटेड ईस्ट पाकिस्तान ट्रेजेडी 1971। नाज़रीन, 1971 का जो क्राइसिस था उसके बारे में आप बहुत कुछ सुन चुके हैं और मज़ीद बहुत सारी फाइंडिंग्स आ रही हैं, लेकिन नाज़रीन उसमें ज़ाहिर इंसानी जानों का ज़या हुआ, चाहे वो बंगाली हो चाहे वो नॉन बंगाली हो। एक इंसान की जान भी बहुत कीमती होती है और अगर उसको बेदर्दी से मार दिया जाए तो ये अफसोसनाक और कर्बनाक होता है। और 1971 में सैकड़ों नहीं, हज़ारों नहीं, लाखों लोग मारे गए और उसमें किसी की भी जान गई हो। बंगाली अगर है तो वो भी मुसलमान, वो भी इंसान, उनको भी मारना कोई दुरुस्त बात नहीं कही जा सकती। लेकिन जो नैरेटिव है इंडिया का और अवामी लीग का नैरेटिव ये है कि 3 मिलियन हिंदूज एंड बंगालीज वर किल्ड इन 1971, वो एक एग्जिजरेशन है और ये एक मिथ है। इस पे बहुत से लोगों ने काम किया है। शर्मिला बोस भी है, यास्मीन साइकिया भी हैं और अजमत अशरफ भी हैं, जमील उस्मान भी हैं और बहुत सारे ऑथर्स हैं जिन्होंने इस पे काम किया है और मज़ीद कर रहे हैं। तो उसको हमें देखने और पढ़ने की ज़रूरत है। हिस्ट्री कभी भी छुप नहीं सकती। तो आइए पहले चलते हैं हम पाकिस्तान के बड़े शहर कराची, जहां हमारी को होस्ट गुल बानो आपके पास मौजूद हैं और आपकी मुंतज़र हैं और वो बताएंगी कि आज हमारे मेहमान कौन हैं। और वो मेहमान हमारे यूथ हैं और हमारा प्राइड हैं। तो आइए हम पहले गुलबानो के पास चलते हैं जो उनका तारुफ कराएंगे। जी गुलबानो।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम नाज़रीन। जैसे कि निज़ामी साहब ने बताया कि इस पर 1971 के हवाले से बहुत से लोगों ने काम किया, लेकिन खुशी हमें आज इस बात की हो रही है कि आज का एक नौजवान इस पर रिसर्च कर रहा है और क्या कुछ कर रहे हैं वो हम बताते हैं आपको। हम आज आपकी मुलाकात एक ऐसी शख्सियत से करवा रहे हैं जिनका ताल्लुक बांग्लादेश के ज़िला नवाखाली से है। यकीनन ये 1971 के बाद पैदा हुए, मगर ये बात काबिल ज़िक्र है कि 1971 में होने वाले कत्लेआम पर ये रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, एक ऐसी तारीख पर काम कर रहे हैं जिसे पाकिस्तान समेत पूरी दुनिया भुला चुकी है। उनका काम देखकर इस बात पर यकीन पक्का हो चुका है कि तारीख को झुठलाना या छुपाया नहीं जा सकता। इसका सबूत यह है कि नवाखाली बांग्लादेश के नौजवान खंदकार रकीब मोहम्मद PhD कर रहे हैं। वेलकम our program. He is unfolding Santahar massacre. रकीब इन दोनों अमेरिका में हैं और एक मशहूर यूनिवर्सिटी यानी कि कैलिफोर्निया यूनिवर्सिटी से ये रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, पढ़ रहे हैं। पाकिस्तान और दुनिया के बेशतर लोगों को ये बात नहीं मालूम कि ज़िला बोगरा के एक रेलवे जंक्शन के इलाके संतहार में कितने गैर बंगाली रहते थे और उनमें कितने लोग 71 के हंगामे में मारे गए। तो आइए सुनते हैं खंदकार रकीब से।
Raquib, first I will before welcoming and or she already welcomed you, I will ask what will we say to you like Raquib Muhammad or Khondokar Abdul Raquib Muhammad?
Oh, it's fine. Thank you. So my non-name is Raquib. Thank you so much, Uncle.
Okay.
For inviting.
Raquib, I have.
Raquib, yeah.
Okay. Raquib, I have a question for you. Why did you choose this specific topic for your PhD. And what did you find so far? Please explain to my viewers.
Thank you so much for inviting to this platform to talk about my research. So I did my master's from London after finishing my undergrad, and I was listening to the stories what happened in Santahar, and when I returned back in Bangladesh, so I lived in a place in northern part of the Dhaka, and I went to a dentist shop, and for the first time I encountered uh, something which is something very scary, not only scary. So it was something like they got some kind of dentist remnants which they bought it from Santahar. So why Santahar? So in front of the Santahar railway masjid, so there is a non-railway masjid. They are trying to dig some pie for the reconstruction and other things. So whenever they would like to construct anything or dig deep, they always get the
Mhm.
skeleton, the remnants, and others. So a few skeletons, which is something very, which is if the dead bodies or some kind of uh, young man or women, they can easily sell their mostly the teeth and other portion to the Dhaka. So I
Mhm.
encountered a dentist market in
Okay.
Dhaka
Mhm.
where they usually purchase this kind of, and so this was a kind of shocking experience for the first time I encountered. And then I went to, so my home district is Noakhali,
Mhm.
and I encountered one people in Noakhali. His dad was a religious leader, the imam in
Mhm.
Santahar Masjid,
Okay.
and that masjid, it was constructed and built by Mukim Bihari. He was a non political leader
Okay.
Santahar at that time.
Mhm.
So his dad, so the time I went to Noakhali, at that time he died, but he provided very fascinating and horrific stories. So when
Mhm.
his dad was leading namaz in that masjid,
Okay.
what happened? Even in 1978, he said the Jai namaz they used to utilize for for everyday namaz.
Mhm.
He noticed that the Jainamas still there are signs of the blood reds. So they washed everything even after 1971. But
Really?
within the Jainamas, there are blood colors and others. And during that time, the Bangladeshi society, mostly the Santaharian people, they were not too much. They don't have enough resources to purchase the new Jainamas and other things, so they used the older one. So even
Oh.
in 1978, the story it was in 1978, they
Mhm.
witnessed they witnessed the Jainamas. It was something. Then I became interested. Oh my God, what happened in Santahar?
Mhm.
Still there are skeletons in front of the public space if they would like to do. Then I went to the Santahar to
Okay.
understand all these things, and my PhD it is all about to understand the violence
Right.
and how violence shapes the political culture of the Bangladesh. So then I went to Santahar first time in 2021 to understand and to unfold the afterlife of the violence. So while arriving at Kandahar, I was searching the survivors of the 71. So I heard the stories from uh, London, but none of them they were Santahar. They said, okay, something happened in Santahar. It was, but nobody talked about what happened in Santahar. I
Oh.
went to Santahar to meet people and mostly to be the Biharis people.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, after searching 3 days, I found no Bihari. So there is no Bihari in Santahar. No
Oh.
Bihari. Then I talked to college professors. I talked to local folks, local teachers, local government employees, and I was trying. And they said there were viharis before the 71, and people they were reluctant to talk
Mhm.
about this issue. After 3 days, I discovered okay, there are a few folks, the Bihari folks. One told me. So one Bihari folk, he established a restaurant. It's a very tiny restaurant. So I
Mhm.
met him, and he was also a survivor. So he told his story was something like that. In 1971, a mob attacked their home. So his dad was working for the railway. So this is the guy. His name is Musa. So he's a survivor, and he cannot tell the story because his brain was attacked and targeted. So the mob came around 9 a.m. in 1971. It was a morning time, and his mom was preparing some roti and other breakfast items. The mob attacked, and one of his sister, they killed her first. So they just killed. I'm sorry, there are some uh, disturbing narratives. I'm sorry for that one. You may feel uncomfortable with these narratives. So through the mob, what they killed, the first one, they just cut her hand and they just killed her. And the second one, they killed his mom. And the third, his second sister. But his second sister survived initially. They just cut the stomach, and then they attacked his stomach first, and then they attacked his brain. Then he lost his sense. Around uh, around evening time, it was raining, and he got sense, and he went outside, and he was walking. He heard that his sister is still alive. Then he was hiding in some Bengali places, and he returned back to the Santahar. So he's the only Santaharian people who is still doing some business, restaurant business. Then I met, then through through utilizing that network, I I met another Santaharian people who is doing a kind of battle lips business, and he refused to talk. He said he
Oh,
will be able to talk about it. And then I realized there are maybe 4 to 5 Santaharian people, and many of them, they refuse to talk. And for them, I realized that it's a kind of they may face they may re-traumatized again. Then I was asking, where are the Santaharian people? So according to the government statistics, at least there should be more than 30,000 to 45,000 Santaharian people here.
like
So
non-Bengalis or whole
only
population?
non-Bengalis, only
No.
non-Bengalis. There should be between 30,000 to 45,000 Biharis should be there. But
How many survived in total? You found?
so I will talk about it later.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
according to the BBC at that time, they declared the atrocity around 20,000 to 30,000 people. So many estimates that between 20,000 to 30,000 people died. Unfortunately, the Hamudur Rahman Commission, they documented only 15,000, and
Yes.
many locals said it is more than 45,000. But during that time, the BBC said it is 30,000. But still, so my estimation and a few experts who are actually working on that side, they are saying it should be between 20 to 30. So it's a very different issue. I will talk about it later. So then I was just searching the Santaharian people, where they are living right now in Bangladesh. So I went to Bogra district. I heard that there are few in Bogra.
First, I will interrupt you, and I will ask you about the one question about the train station of. It's very famous, and I read so many stories about the train station in '71. That is the train station. Can you
Yes.
tell us about?
Okay. So this was one of the very known rail station, and during the British period, they constructed this rail line just to connect the Assam tea garden and the renowned Darjeeling, and
Mhm.
to connect it with the capital city, Calcutta. At that time, it was the capital city of Calcutta, and
Right.
it was the junction and between Calcutta to Assam and Calcutta to Darjeeling. So it was the center between that. So it was one of the very important rail site for the British
Mhm.
imperial economic system. That is why it was the first city within the North Bengal of Bangladesh where they installed the power like electricity. So
Mhm.
before the Bogra, the Santahar was electrified. So they made it even a kind of modern city during the colonial period at that time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And during the Second World War, many soldiers they were attacked by the Japanese and others. And to treat them, they established renowned hospitals over there. And then the tea garden workers, those who usually working in Darjeeling and different part of the Assam, when they got affected by the malaria and other kind of disease, they used to treat them in Santahar area. So in Santahar, you will find a non uh, residential area. Its name is Chabagan. So Chabagan means the workers of the tea gardens who are
Right,
affected by
right.
the malaria. They treated in that area. And in British soldiers and others who died in other parts, they used to come here and they have non graveyard. And
Right.
one important aspect is that why Bihar is in Santahar. That is one key important question I tried to answer. So I
Mhm.
was searching why so many Biharis in Santahar. So it's not only after 46 or 46 riot in Bihar or
Mhm. Mhm.
47 incidents of the of the partition. So many Bihari people from Bihar, not only the Bihar, but also from the western part of the Bengal, like
Yes.
Murshidabad, Malda,
Assam.
Kelkata, even from the Uttar
Assam.
Pradesh, like Ajamgarh, and from
Yes.
those places, they used to come here, and I talked to one renowned people at that time. He just died last year. So he was saying to me when Biharis first came in 1947. So they came directly just through the railway station because
Mhm.
Shanghai is very close to it's not far away from the India.
Mhm.
So they came here, and the local Bangladeshis, they invited them, and they sacrificed the what it's called the cow. They slaughtered the cow for them, they feed them, they provided shelters and everything. So local people in 1947, they provided all kind of shelters to the Bihari people to stay and to live here. But
Okay.
many at that time they were trying to get a kind of home because they were mostly, displaced, and many of them during 47 they were also the survivors of the pogrom and riots that was happening in Bihar, in Dariyabanga, in Muzaffarpur, and in different part of the Bihar. They were survivors. Their home vandalized and everything. So they came here just with one piece of the cloth or something like that. So many came here, but what uh, and after 47, even after 47, during 50s and 60s, many resettled here because it was a kind of city. So city always elude the people because there are accommodations, there
Right.
are employments, there are industries, and it was one of the very known rail junctions. And during 1971, nearly 4 to 5,000 government positions were available in that railway station. And it was the station where the Bangladeshi rail line, one is meter gauge and one is broad gauge. It was divided between these two. So they need so many labor force and so many things. So many people resettled here. um, According to local experts, I talked to them and they were saying around 30,000 to 45,000 Biharis, 30 to 45,000 Biharis, they resettled and relocated in Santahar. And during 1960s, the Ayub Khan government, they uh, declared the Santahar as city
Oh,
beyond,
okay.
beyond the normal uh,
Mhm.
district and other things. And Santahar, it was not only the hub of the railway. The government also installed a silo. I don't know whether you are aware of the silo. Silo is something kind of food. Con- they used to consume food. So all the food products produced in the North Bengal, like rice and tomatoes, potatoes, they preserved through the direct assistance of the Japan government. So there at that time there were only two silo. One were in Chittagong and another one in the Santahar. So they installed, the silo. They installed power power station and so many big government stations at that time installed in Santahar. And Santahar at that time it was a city, and the first mayor of the Santahar city was Mukim Bihari. He was a very known figure. And at the time, Santahar also the epicenter, the hub of the railway, you know,
Mhm.
railway communication. So one thing I realized that why the violence it was circulated and why it happened. One thing was it was about rumor, it was about the suspicion. I read uh, um, uh, the Train to Pakistan by Khushwant Singh. It is the same kind. So at that time there was no banking system. People
Mhm.
used to get their salary through direct money. So the money was coming through the trunk. The trunk. It
Yes, yes,
to the
yes,
trunk from different,
yes.
from the big cities to the Santahar. So
Oh,
when trunk arrived, the big trunks arrived to provide the people salary. The local Bengalis they assume that big weapons are coming to kill them. So the such kind of humor and other things. It was at that time it was unfolding in Santahar. So why Santahar became a kind of Santahar why such large kind of atrocities that happened in Santahar? So to me, after the Khulna, the Santahar incidents, it was the most horrible and most, you know, in kind of the degree of the massacre. In
okay.
terms of degree, it was something.
Okay.
I will.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I want
You
to
were saying
interrupt.
something.
Ji, sorry, I want to interrupt. We have a video. We will show it after it because I have more question.
Okay, okay.
So show
Okay.
the
So
video.
first I want to summarize what Raquib said so far, and in Urdu, little bit, for our
Ji, ji.
viewers. They are from lot of them are watching from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, North America, even in Singapore. Our viewers are watching, and lot of them have comments also, questions also. और एक चीज मैं अपने व्यूअर्स को बता दूं कि रकीब जो नवाखाली से हैं, उनकी जो बर्थ है वो है 1989 की। तो ये आप माइंड में रखिएगा कि 71 से पहले
Bye.
के ये नहीं है। तो ही डज नॉट नो उर्दू
Ji.
फ्लुएंटली, and he cannot speak Urdu
Hmm.
fluently, even only Bangla or English. So keep in mind. So that's why I gave him opportunity to speak in English, and I think our viewers can easily understand English. So
Sorry, uncle. I'm
yes,
sorry. I'm sorry for the interruption. If I would finish this program, I think you can do another kind of translate, so we can we can make a kind of conversation. If they have any questions, I would love to talk about it. If I could finish, then if they have any concern or questions, and then if they need any translation, I think that would be helpful for all of us to manage the time, because we don't
yeah,
have too much time.
actually, I am going to tell about whatever you told the background of Santahar, that I want to let them know in very few words. And then Gulbano has a question regarding your work also. And we have a short video also, what you are working now for your research work. सो ये उन्होंने ये बताया है कि संताहार चूँकि इंडिया से बहुत करीब था, और 1946 का जो बिहार राइट था, और 47 में जो माइग्रेशन हुआ, तो बिहार से, और इन्होंने कहा कि वेस्ट बंगाल से भी, आसाम, त्रिपुरा, मुर्शिदाबाद, वहाँ से भी लोग माइग्रेट करके यहाँ पे 47 में आए, और यहाँ के जो लोकल लोग हैं उन्होंने उनको वेलकम किया। उन्होंने उनको जिस तरह हम पढ़ते हैं और जानते हैं कि अमेरिका में थैंक्स गिविंग मनाया जाता है, टर्की स्लाटर करके उन्होंने जो पिलग्रिम्स थे, न्यू कमर्स थे, उनको खिलाया था, उस तरह ईस्ट पाकिस्तान में बंगालियों ने उस वक्त 1947 में संताहार में उनको वेलकम किया था, उनको अपने पास रखा था। और चूँकि रेलवे का निज़ाम वहाँ पे था, तो ये जितने लोग वहाँ से आए थे वो स्किल्ड थे, और वहाँ पे इनका कहना है कि 30 से 45,000 पॉपुलेशन जो है, आबादी, वो नॉन बंगाली यानी बिहारियों की थी। और अब वो बताएंगे आगे चल के कि उनका क्या बना, और इनका रिसर्च आगे कहाँ तक पहुँचा। लेकिन एक छोटी सी वीडियो मैं ज़रूर दिखाना चाहता हूँ। आई वांट टू सैल्यूट हिम, how he is working for his PhD on unfolding संतहार मैसेकर। ये अभी तक किसी ने इस पे कोई काम नहीं किया है। और मैं इनके बोलने से पहले आपको दो एक और लोगों को ट्रिब्यूट में पेश करना चाहता हूँ जो दे आर वर्किंग फॉर इट, नॉट ऑन संतहार बट ऑन द होल। सो पहले आप वीडियो देखिए, उसके बाद मैं आपको 2-3 पिक्चर दिखा देता हूँ ताकि फिर मैं बाद में भूल ना जाऊँ, टाइम ना रहे। कि और जो लोग काम कर रहे हैं उनको भी हम बुलाएंगे अपने इसमें। और दूसरी बात ये कि रकीब से हमें इतनी बात करनी है जो शायद एक सेशन में ना हो सके। तो अभी गुल बानो ने मुझे मैसेज भेजा है कि इनका एक और पार्ट हम इनके साथ करें और उसमें इनका जो वर्क जो पिक्चोरियल है और वीडियो है उसको भी प्रेजेंट करें, ताकि आप देखें कि हाउ ही इज ही वर्किंग यू नो without any bias attitude. That is great and I salute to him. So first watch the video. Tabish Nezami made it. नाज़रीन नाज़रीन ये वीडियो इस वीडियो में वही पिक्चर्स हैं जो कि अभी जिसके बारे में अभी रकीब ने आपको सब स्पेसिफिकली बताया अलग अलग करके। जी गुलबानो, व्हाट आर यू सेइंग?
Yes, for this research, did you visit camps and other areas also? What is your finding? Please tell the details.
Thank you for the question. So, which I have already mentioned that I went to Santahar to talk to the people, the survivors. So, I found just 4 Santaharian people just in 4 Santaharian BREs, so who resettled here, and only just one talked to them and 3 refused to talk with me. So refuse. So I am also unfolding this refusal why they are not willing to talk, their fear. Then I went to Bogra camp. So there is a big colony, Lotif colony in Bogra. So I met around 15 to 20 survivors over there. So there are still 15 to 20 survivors. They're living in Bogra. Then I went to Sayedpur that people are saying, okay, there might be much more Santahari and Bihari may be living in Saidpur. I went to Saidpur, but I found no, Santahari and Biharis initially. After searching, at the end, I found one who was a day laborer, and through his uh, connection, I found six more. So in total, just seven Bihari families who resettled from the Santahar. They are living in Saidpur, the biggest camp. In Ishurdi, I went to the Ishurdi, there is nobody from Santahar. I went to
Okay.
Khulna, there is nobody from Santahar. And I went to finally to Dhaka to meet Santaharian survivors. And again, I found less than 20 families. So so based on these estimation, I realized that around 300 to 400 to 500 people survived Santaharian, and a few survivors they already moved to the Pakistan.
Mm.
So I cannot comment on them. How many? Maybe I still am working on it. So while working with the survivors,
Mm.
I meet one survivors in Saidpur. So I was just trying to understand what happened, and
Mm.
all of them they were kids at that time. So so what I did, I tried to work with the local Bangladeshi in Santaharian people,
Acha.
school teacher, college teacher. I know these are the people who can at least tell me
Right.
what happened
Yes,
because
yes.
these are the known people. So when I met one college teacher, he was surprised to see me and he was asking, this is the first time he noticed someone who is, and he was saying, what happened in Santahar? Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not forgive us what happened here. So it was his first, it was my first conversation with a local teacher. And I met at least 10 local Bangladeshi teachers,
Mhm.
local civil society members, journalists, and others, those who are living in Santahar area to understand that one.
All are Bengalis.
All are Bengalis because which I have already mentioned that I met only a few Santaharian people throughout the country, Santaharian Bihari people,
Yeah,
not
they were not.
Santahari Bengali people.
Yeah.
So the common from the journalist and from other folks, the common is still there is a kind of hatred within the so the Bangladeshi society. It was something in a very different way right now, and also what I found throughout my conversation and ethnographic with these groups of people, I realized there was a kind of ethnic hierarchy constructed by the Pakistan state at that time during 1960s. So what happened after resettling and relocating in Santahar? What happened? The government, the way it constructed the state, it was at the up, at the bottom, and at the up. At the up, it was the Pakistan civil society, the militaries. At the bottom, Bangladeshi laborers. And in the middle, it was the Bihari labor forces who migrated here, and majority of them, since so people used to say they got so many government jobs. It's not like that they got because of the Bihari. Obviously, there might be it because at that time the Bangladeshi society it was agricultural base. So many people they didn't move from here to here. So such kind of labor force and other kind since they migrated, that is why they automatically engaged with these government jobs like laborer, train ticket manager and others. So they got so many jobs and it create a kind of disruption within the society. And before the 1970 election, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, he was trying to join a procession in Santahar area. And while he was trying to go, at that time, the Muslim League, it was so popular in Santahar area. So I realized that while he was trying to deliver his speech, there was a kind of disruption. Even the railway engineer, he was honking. So it created a kind of disruption initially within the Bangladeshi. Okay, Sheikh Mujib is coming, we are not being able to listen to him. So this one, which created a kind of unsettled, and then during the war, initially the Bangladeshi, even nearly 4,000 Bangladeshi people, they are also living in Santahar city
Okay.
alongside with the Bihari. So the relation was never something ups and downs, but through the political crisis, which I have already mentioned, that it is the same people who invited them, who provided all of their belongings to, allow them. who provided them shelter, who provided them hospital, everything. Right now, just within 20 years, it became a kind of hostile situation. So it was a very micro level kind of violence it initiated. First of all, in a football match, there was a kind of quarrel, and then there was a kind of in school there was a kind. So a very silly kind of incidents which lead to a kind of disruption and suspicion, and which I've already mentioned that during the uh, month of the March there was a kind of suspicion. It was a political crisis at that time. So what happened? Uh, what they were saying, the mostly the Bengali people, they were saying a Bihari guy who was trying to make sign such kind of something like that, which is something they are understanding. He
Mhm.
was something, and it was something blasted or something. So and another Bengali said he was working in Bihari family and he saw some kind of weapons naming made in Shikarpur. I couldn't authenticate all these things, but the kind of suspicion and rumor it circulated throughout the areas.
Mhm.
And before the Muharram, and it was also the month of Muharram, there were huge celebrations in the Muharram. And through the Muharram, what it's called celebrations, a Bengali house was burned, and which
Mhm.
created a kind of tension between these group of people for the first time during.
Right.
And one Bengali, during that tension, one Bengali was died. And
Mhm.
the Bengali people, they said that there are people in Santahar city, they are dying, and they gathered all of them in front of the Sandira school. There is a non-Sandira school, around 4,000 to 5,000 Bengali they gathered, and they were trying to enter to the Santahar city. So while they were trying to enter, then the for the first time Bihari local residents they feel threatened, and they were saying, okay, you should not come, you should not come. And also there were a railway, I think railway police station, GRP police station,
Mhm.
and they had only 4 to 5 arms, not too much, and these were not too much lethal arms or like this. It was the um, uh, pellet or something like that. So so from the GRP police station, they have a few guns. So the Bangladeshi people, they assume that all the Biharis, they have so many guns, so many. So it was the environment which escalated all these things while they were trying to enter. So
Mhm.
two habildars of the GRP Thana, they shoot, but it was not shoot to kill. If they would like to kill people, they could kill so many Bengalis. So they just trying to don't come, don't enter within this area. And then within that clash again, two Bengali died. One is Akhir Ali, one is Mahatab Belal. I documented
Mhm.
their name and I talked to them. And then Bengali says, oh, okay, we need to teach. So and then a few Bengali they gathered together, they went to the nearest Tarapur police station, took all the weapons, and with the help of the local answer, and
Mhm.
they entered to the Santahar city with shooting. And within that shooting, maybe 10 or 15 people at that time it died. And then it was a kind of horrific because Biharis doesn't have any weapons, but they said all the Biharis have weapons, but in reality they don't have nothing. Just only
Mhm.
GRP police station have something like that. So they entered to the Santahar, and then they gathered they asked to gather all of the Shantaharian people to the rail station. They gathered over there, and then they sorted out 29 to 34 Bihari men as quote unquote, which they feel as a kind of threatening figure for them, and they killed all of them in front of a school. So it was a Kalshi school, and there was a deal between the Bengali and Biharis. Okay, right now you are Masoom, you don't have any fault. We will not. So the Bangladeshi leader, he was at that time the MLA. His name was Kasimuddin. He touched the Quran Sharif and he said that you are Masoom. You will not do anything. What you need to do, you need to surrender all of your weapons. So in the name of the weapons, they even asked them to surrender the knife or
Mhm.
something they use for their everyday everything. So after 3 days, so it was something de-escalated. Around 40 to 50 Biharis died, 34 died, 34 killed directly by what it's called targeted killing, and a few
Mhm.
others through the mob and other things. And those 3 days it was okay. Within then they tried to de-escalate. It was the contract between the Bihari and, but after 3 days the situation totally shifted. Why they shifted? At that time, one sector commander, his name was Nazar Nazmul, who
Mhm.
himself who himself died in accident in India. He came and he started to escalate the tension. He said these are the enemies or something like that. And one interesting thing that I have already shared one picture. There was a gramophone Biriwala company. There was a company. He was also a Bihari man, and so many Biharis have very good relations with the Bangalis even.
Mhm.
So he handed over one uh, gold boat to the Sheikh Mujib. So many Biharis took shelter in his home, that if even in his industry, if they would take shelter, they would not kill them because they have very good relations with the Bangalis. So after 3 days, this Major Nazmul and other EPR guys, they arrived and they asked to escalate the situation. And what happened at that time? People, many of them, they were also saying in 1950s and 60s there were a series of riot and
Right.
uh, communalism happened in Calcutta. And
Mhm.
while so many Muslims were killed in Calcutta, and while at that time still the train from Calcutta to Assam it was available. So
Yes.
while so many train while moving from Calcutta to Assam, local Santaharian they stopped that rail station, and so many Hindus were killed, and so many Hindu people at that time during the 71, they also this kind of EPR guys, they the kind of narrative they constructed, these are the enemies or something like that.
Mhm.
And after third days, which I have already mentioned, it became out of the control. So the EPR guy from the Nauga area, they came with the arms, heavy arms. They started to shoot, and people from all part of the Santahar, they started to coming towards the Santahar. So I met so many survivors. One survivor, he was saying, his dad was saying, please get out from the home. So they have 9 family members. He was saying, I took my younger brother in my lap. So I was just running. So behind me, all of my family members were died. I took shelter in a wagon in the railway station. So he was shot in his leg, and he hid himself for 6 days among the dead bodies. So one school teacher, he said after 6 days he went to the Santahar railway station to see what was happening, and he
Mhm.
said it was scary. When I went to the railway station, the dead bodies, it was equivalent to his chest throughout the station,
Oh.
and so many dead bodies it were even for 5 days, 6 days, and nobody was there who can so so many dead bodies, and he was so much scared, and he was trying to flee the city. And then he encountered one guy who was having so many ornaments in one hand, and in
Mhm.
another hand he has a kind of weapon. So in Second World War, I was trying to understand. In Second
Mhm.
World War, it was mostly one soldier they used to kill at least 10 to 15 people. But here, 10 to 15 mob lynchers, they used to kill one people. So the atrocity and the
Mhm.
atrocity was
Right.
something so severe. I met two survivors, very interestingly. They cut their, uh, this part, but they survived even after a few days. Somebody took them and provided some kind of medicine, and they survived. So it was something, it was not something they were hitting and immediately they were dying. The death was something very horrible because many died even after 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. So I was trying to understand the specificity of this violence. So
Mhm.
after initiating this violence, all the male people within 3 to 5 days, they killed all the male people. One survivor I met, he is from Saidpur. He was saying he was a child at that time, and his mom provided his the female dress so that he can hide him as female.
Oh, right.
Because whoever any male they got, they killed. So within 5 to 10 days, all male people were killed, and nearly 700 to 1000, 2000, 700 to 2000 Bangladeshi sorry, Bihari laborers, they took shelter in gramophone biriwala companies.
Okay.
Initially, they didn't kill him, but after a few days, they took just one from another. They took one from that, you know, the company built, and they just slaughtered one and slaughtered one and slaughtered. Many argue that. So I heard, I talked to the so many local people, and many said they talked to this kind of, the killers. There were killers who himself killed more than 800 to 1000 people, and they have a kind of, machete. It was a very harsh machete, and many argue that at that time Santahar was the city, and Bangladesh had a big Keru and Kong, um, it alcohol. So it was a kind of, alcohol company. So
Mm-hmm.
the Keru and Kong alcohol company, it was in southern district Chuadanga. So they had factory in Santahar. After production, they send all these alcohol to the Santahar, then it moved to other part of the country through the rail junction. So the killers, they used to take this alcohol and they killed one by one, one by one. So many people they killed throughout the whole days, and took all these, taru. They used to sell taru or
Yes, Taru, yes.
alcohol. But I didn't found these arguments as something authenticated, because the day he killed 80 or 90 people, but the next day he was also, he was also taking care of his machete. So it was deliberate. It was not something he was,
Mm.
addicted, or something
Right.
like that. Many argued they were addicted, but the next day he was also, taking care of his machete, and he was again planning. So who are the killers? So it is very interesting question.
Right.
Who are the killers? I was trying to understand who are the killers, and then it was the people from all walk of life, seems from all sides of the Santar. So Santar was it was a city, and through all of its passes, like there are so many villages like Damdama, like Tarafur, like Nauga. So there are so many, Sandara, Malsham, and so many people from different part, like which I have already mentioned. Hindus, even Santalian people. There were Tilakpur. There are different places. So they came from throughout these places, and it was a kind of, complete mob. But all people cannot kill all these things. There were, a few who were so much furious. So the furious, who are the furious? Those who are trying to grab the ornaments. They used to know that Bihari people, they
Right.
came from other countries, they have so much ornaments. So they are trying to get the ornaments from the female initially. So they killed all these kind of people. They participated in this killing mission. So one school teacher, he said that, okay, so that school teacher, he was saying to me, so he became so much scary, and he was trying to hide. He was trying to hide the city, and accidentally he encountered one folk who have so many ornaments in one hand, in another hand, and machete, and his, you know whole body, it was something blooded. And he was saying there were, rivalries between the these kind of goons, who will get how much ornaments from the people. So many specificities I encountered during that time. There were people tried to hide and, survive. During that time, the toiletry system, it was very different. The city like Santahar, it was not like the modern sanitary. They had a kind
Mm.
of, the sanitary, and there was a ball under that, and there
Yes.
was a chain. So, some people, sweepers, they used to come during the morning. Uh,
Yes.
After opening that chain, they took that, and, they put it through their van and
Yes.
put it in different part. So many people, they hide themselves in those places, but
Mhm.
those speakers, they inform that there are Biharis, they are hiding in
Oh,
these
okay.
solitary areas. It hurts me a lot.
Of
And
course.
I met so many survivors who hide themselves even within the bodies, within the dead bodies.
Mhm.
So during night time, they used to come. the folk, those who was crying, you say, you notice that one, that guy who was a kind of, businessman in Bogra district. He said that he was hiding in a toilet for 5 days, and then, he was also the victim of the gunshot. And during the night time, he went out to get some kind of water. Even when out, getting out from those areas, it was something scary. So within fast 3 days, they killed all the male. So all the male people, within few days, they killed them. And female, they got shelter in initial time. And it was a pogrom. It was completely a pogrom. It was not, conflict between two groups. It was just one group just killing. The other group is just, so one professor, he was saying it to me. I can read out it. Uh, I can read out. It felt as if at the moment they had decided no one will survive. Nobody even resisted. They were being killed, and nobody were resisted or something like that. So all the people, many people at the time, they took shelter in masjid. There are two non-masjid, which I have already mentioned. One is Kali Masjid,
Right.
another one is Station Masjid. So I met one Hindu witness. He was a Hindu people, local Hindu people. He said that he went to the city to see the scenario, what was happening, and he said he couldn't pass the city. Because the whole city was flooded with the bodies, because nobody was there to bury them. And if you'd like to walk, you need to jump over the dead bodies. And
Oh.
he said he came in front of the masjid, the central railway masjid, and so many people, they were taking shelter over there. So whenever they were asking for any water, many even urinated in their mouth or something.
Oh.
And they killed all of the people, those who take shelter in the masjid, and put all their dead bodies in front of the front of the masjid. And one survivor, he was arguing, he was just saying, sorry, one local resident, he was saying to me, he was moving towards the Santahar city around 1980s and 90s. And he said in Yard Colony, there were more than 600 to 700 housing of the Biharis, and majority of these housing, it was something broken. The bricks and others, it was mostly broken or something like that. So Santahar, it was the city when British constructed. There are so many coal behind the soil. So whenever they were trying to any rainy time, they would like to get shelter in those areas. He said that whenever there are some heavy rain or something like that, the skull and the skeleton, it just arrived. Mostly the head side and the downside of the leg,
Oh.
and it haunted. He was even he born even he doesn't have any memory of 1971. But if even after 1971, the folks of 80s and 90s, they said that whenever they would like to do anything, or wherever they would like to dig out anything, it just the skull and skeleton, skull
Oh.
and skeleton, it
Oh.
just died. And local people, they are saying that they don't see any rain in that area over the last 40 or 50 years. They said the rain amount is very low compared to the other parts of the Bogura. Other parts of the Bogura is heavy raining. So many people are cultivating so many things, but it's too dry, too hot. And they
Oh.
say it's still maybe Allah not, And uh, a few interlocutors, they told me they met so many killers. Even I met a few killers. I cannot say about it because of the ethical reason or other safety security. There are so many issues.
Right. Right.
They said the majority of the killers, those who kill like 800, 700, 500 people, they died through a kind of accident, or they said it was something, their death was not natural death. It was all these death were unnatural death. And majority of the killers, they died within 4 to 5 years of the
Oh.
massacre in 1972, 73, 74, 75. They died accidentally. And many of them, they got mad. And a
Mm.
few killers, one killers, he became a very religious, and he couldn't even meet with other people, other folks. He always lived within his own room. He didn't even, he was surrounded by the books. Another one, he became the disciple of a religious leader. So different kind of the afterlives of the many of became a different kind of uh, different kind of
Lucky,
killers. Yes.
I am stopping you right now because we are out of time now, and
Yes,
we
I'm
are.
sorry, can I get just 2 minutes? I will finalize this.
Yes,
Just 2 minutes.
please.
So what happened? They took so only female and children, they got survived and took shelter in the rail station. And Kasimuddin, the Awami League leader, he provided so many foods from the silo and other areas. He fed them for 1 week and week more. And then there are divisions among the Awami League leaders. Why you are feeding this group of people? And those who are trying to feed them, they tried to even kill those who are trying to assist them. And then there was a final solution. They said, okay, Pakistan army is coming. What we will do with these girls and women's and children? And many argue that so since many young kids and others, they are not getting any food. Many baby people are not getting food. They were died naturally in the station. They couldn't even resist it. So I provided one tree. It was a jackfruit tree. In front of the jackfruit tree, many perpetrators, they took the babies and killed them, just throwing them with the railway line. So they just it was something they it was horrible incidents. They just hit their head with the rail line, and they chanted so many of their slogans and others. It was horrible. They killed all the kids in a horrible way. And later, I cannot talk about what happened again is the women, but I tried to understand. So a very known Bihari guy, his name is Mi Guard, and this kind of figures like non uh, upper class Biharis who are living in that, they targeted their home mostly, and they targeted their family members mostly. So few
Okay.
family members, they got survived, but most of them, they targeted their female members. It was it was deliberately and it was systematically it what happened. And the final solution, they said it was something final solution. If the military will come here, they will kill us, and they decided to kill all the female. So
Oh,
within 17 days, they killed all the people,
oh.
all the people. So which I have already mentioned. If you survived, who have very good relations with Bangalis, or who took shelter. So many took shelter in many Bangali villages nearby, like Domdoma, like Sandra, Malshama, or other
Mhm.
parts. They took shelter in their rooftop and other parts. But again, the mob attackers, they started to hunt. Hey, you are the guy who is giving shelter to the Biharis. They even, you know, targeted even those people. So after 17 days, so it was something, they killed all the people. And then Pakistan military arrived, and again they killed
Mhm.
around 2000 Bengali people over there. So it was the violence after violence. and
Okay.
and BBC said around 30,000 Biharis at that time were killed. My estimation, it should be between 20 to 30,000, but it would be even more. Thank you.
ओके। नो,
Any question?
नाजरीन, अब आप देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम हिस्ट्री रिविजिटेड, और आज रकीब मोहम्मद, जो खंदकार रकीब मोहम्मद भी हैं, आज उन्होंने वो जो पीएचडी कर रहे हैं अनफोल्डिंग संतहार मैसेकर, उस पे हम बात कर रहे थे। और डेफिनेटली वी विल डू द सेकंड पार्ट ऑन प्रोबेबली ऑन जनवरी 3rd, एंड मैं बात करूंगा रकीब से वट एवर ही इज कंफर्टेबल, बिकॉज 24 को हमारा एक प्रोग्राम हो रहा है जो बांग्लादेश की पॉलिटिक्स पे है, वहाँ का जो वायलेंस हो रहा है पॉलिटिक्स में उस पे, और मेनली हम बात करेंगे उसमें। अ, आप देख रहे हैं उस्मान हादी, जो उसको आज किल किया है, और ही वाज फाइटिंग इंडिया। एंड डेफिनेटली उस पर हम बात करेंगे। और 28 को हमारा एक और प्रोग्राम है जो स्केड्यूल हुआ हुआ है पहले से। तो 3 जनवरी मोस्ट प्रोबेबली वी विल डिस्कस विद रकीब एंड वी विल कंटिन्यू इट वट एवर ही वॉज सेइंग, बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स आर गोइंग ऑन देयर। मैं अभी नाजरीन को ये भी बताता चलूँ बंद करने से पहले कि एक ब्रिटिशर पाकिस्तानी आयशा गाजी, she made a film, a documentary, 71 Slaughterhouse, and for that reason, she visited Bangladesh so many times and recently also. And she interviewed Bengalis and Biharis also. And it's a very, very nice documentary. You can watch it, 71 Slaughterhouse. And then Rakshanda Parveen, Dr. Rakshanda Parveen, she is very good writer, very good podcaster, and she wrote a book recently, The Abandoned Pakistanis 1971 Betrayal, Statelessness. सो आप इसको भी पढ़िए। ये आप ये बुक जो है जो आप देख रहे हैं ये आप डाउनलोड भी कर सकते हैं। और एक और कराची के लोगों के लिए हमारे पास एक खबर है कि सानिया मशरक़ी पाकिस्तान के हवाले से अज़मत अशरफ साहब की किताब शुरा आफाक किताब रेफ्यूजी कराची किताब मेले में फजली बुक सेंटर के स्टॉल पर दस्तियाब है। और रेफ्यूजी इंग्लिश में भी है, उर्दू में भी है और बंगला में भी है। तो आप ज़रूर जाइएगा वहाँ किताब मेले में और इसको आप ज़रूर देखिएगा। और हम अपने अगले प्रोग्राम में जो रकीब के साथ होगा उसमें हम बात करेंगे खुलना की भी, इसलिए कि ही मेंशनड खुलना and he mentioned crescent jute mill. So we will discuss with him about other, and he visited other camps of Bangladesh also. So we will talk about in the on the general। और आप लोगों से ये भी गुजारिश है कि आप इन चीज़ों को समझिए, हमारे प्रोग्राम का मकसद क्या है और रकीब जो पीएचडी कर रहे हैं उनका पर्पस क्या है। कि अदर साइड स्टोरी बिल्कुल ब्लैक आउट है आज तक 50 इवन आफ्टर 54 years। एंड बीइंग अ बंगाली स्कॉलर ही फाउंड these whatever the truth is and he is working on it। और उसके लिए वो कैसे कैसे गए हैं बांग्लादेश में, कहाँ कहाँ विजिट किया उन्होंने। और उन्होंने बिहारी से भी इंटरव्यू किया, बंगाली से भी इंटरव्यू किया। और उन्होंने संतहार के बारे में आपको बताया कि संतहार में यानी आफ्टर 71 कहीं पे अगर खुदाई हुई है कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए तो वहाँ से भी उनको इंसानी अज़ा मिल रहे हैं। तो काउंटिंग परफेक्ट नहीं है, इसलिए कि लोग मार के दफन कर दिए गए, नदी में फेंक दिए गए। और लाशें ऐसी थी कि उसको उसके बारे में उन्होंने बताया कि जब उन्होंने आई विटनेस से पूछा तो वो ट्रेन स्टेशन पे जाके देखा तो वो चल नहीं सकते थे, उनको जंप करना पड़ता था लाशों को अबूर करने में। तो इंडिया का अवामी लीग का नैरेटिव तो आज भी पूरी दुनिया में है कि 3 मिलियन हिंदूज एंड बंगालीज को किल किया गया है। लेकिन जो नैरेटिव बिल्कुल नहीं है सामने, जो वाइप आउट हुआ है, ब्लैक आउट हुआ है, इवन पाकिस्तान डिड नॉट बॉदर टू फाइंड आउट एनीथिंग, दिस यंग गाय is finding, and I salute him on behalf of all martyrs and all the people in the camps. So next time, most probably, if Raquib will be available, 3rd January, Saturday, we will be again with him and we will talk about his PhD. And I offer my services and my team services to you for your PhD research or whatever you want to do. And we can reach other people in Bangladesh who are going to work on it and for their PhD or research or anything, and we will document them too. So नाज़रीन, अगर आपको ये प्रोग्राम अहम लगा हो, मालूमाती लगा हो, तो प्लीज़ 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 इसको शेयर कीजिए as much as you can। And I am sorry I could not bring your comments and questions, a lot of questions and comments I can see, but I could not do it because of the lack of time. And I did not give the opportunity to my co-host also, Gulbano, to ask. She has so many questions, but next time, of course.
I'm sorry, I have time. If you have any questions, I would happy to answer.
Yeah, in second part, actually, we will do it,
Yes.
Okay,
definitely.
it's fine. But I know there are so many participants, those who would
Yes.
like to talk. I'm sorry, it's odd for me just to just talk. I would also, I would also just like to listen about the
Yes,
people's.
Yeah,
Raquib,
yeah.
you are so young. We congratulate you on this effort and research. It gives us great feel to see young people like you set out in search of the truth.
And
Thank you for.
actually,
Yes.
I am waiting for, I am committed to other talk show also to, participate. So that's why, otherwise I could prolong it. But next 1 hour will be for you, and we will talk all around. And I will suggest my viewers, okay, before the program, please send me your comments or questions, and I will ask
Mm.
Rakib in that. That will be the best, instead of in the me in the during the program, if I question and he will be interrupted. So why don't you send me before 3rd January your question and comments, so I will ask Rakib during the program, and it will be a very good program. And I'm so sorry I could not prolong today, but second part, definitely I will talk to Rakib if he is available on 3rd of January, because we have in between, committed with other guests. So, and next Wednesday we are, talking about Usman, who was killed in Bangladesh. And we have experts from Bangladesh, England, and Pakistan also to talk about him and about the politics in Bangladesh. Any message to viewers, Rakib, and please few words.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I always, so beyond the so-called nationalist narratives and the
Yes,
religious narratives from different parts, I'm
right,
too much skeptical about those narratives because I'm an anthropology by training. So
right.
beyond this kind of narratives, I'm trying to unfold what happened in Santahar
Very
and
good.
how the people, those were still living with the trauma and the fear, and how can we make a kind of uh, life affirming, we can build a life affirming society so that such kind of atrocity should not should not ever happen in
Very
future.
good. Very
Yeah,
good. This should be our goal. Thank you very much.
Thank
thank you.
you.
Uh, गुलबानो आप इख्तिताम।
अगले हफ्ते का जी, अगले हफ्ते यानी सैटरडे के दिन हम दो मेहमानों को ला रहे हैं। एक खातून है जो खबरें भी पढ़ती हैं, लेकिन उनका ताल्लुक ढाका से है, बांग्लादेश से, मतलब उस वक्त मशरक़ी पाकिस्तान से। वो अपने वाक़यात बताएंगी कि वहाँ पर क्या हुआ, उन्होंने क्या देखा और क्या चश्मदीद गवाह हैं वो इन कुछ मामलात की, कुछ वाक़यात की। और उनके जो शौहर हैं वो शायर हैं, वो मगरबी पाकिस्तान से ताल्लुक़ है, लेकिन दोनों मिलके मशरक़ी मगरबी पाकिस्तान दोनों इस वक्त पाकिस्तान में मौजूद हैं। उनसे हम गुफ्तगू करेंगे इंशाअल्लाह। तो अब प्रोग्राम का वक्त ख़त्म हुआ चाहता है।
A
अल्लाह
special thanks to Raqib, and a
हाफ़िज़।
special thanks to our viewers who are watching from far, so many countries. Thank you very much, and don't forget to be with us in our all programs. It will be very informative and interesting for you. Thank you very much. उसी के
थैंक
वक्त अगले बुध तक के लिए इजाजत दीजिए।
I'm sorry. The final one is that if you are asking about myself, I would
Mhm.
appreciate if you could, if you have any questions, you can email me. I would appreciate.
Yes,
Would
I will.
love to, I would love to,
Definitely. Yeah, it
respond.
will be, it will be very good. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
थैंक
and see you again.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz. Salam.
अल्लाह
Allah